Dr. Bressman, good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Yeah, it's Dr. Bressman. Good morning. Here.
Dr. Bressman, can you put yourself on mute so that thing is still on? And we love you for it.
I don't know what to do.
Just put yourself on mute.
Unplug everything.
I did it. It's okay. It's good. All right. So, I don't know why is the video not on. This is Rav Michal Mordechai.
I was trying to record you recording while you record.
I know why the video is not on. The video is attached over here.
Make sure you watch your screen.
Why is not on? Yeah.
This is okay. Oh, you got a new camera?
Yeah.
You have it on Bro?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me see it.
Oh, Rabbi Shah, what's master Rabbi Shah? Oh, you did it.
I got this selected.
Thank you much.
It was brand new. That was a brand new one or someone donated to you?
Well, it's like a hat, Michal Mordechai. You know, how long does it take for a hat to get ruined? So, yeah, depends on
It
it.
sits on it.
Exactly. So the camera got bounced around a little bit, unfortunately. We're on page 155. Okay. So what we said in the first chapter of this discourse, I am dark and I am beautiful, is that although it seems that that the various soul energies that we have are compromised because of our animal soul and being married to the animal soul, not just that we have an animal soul that lurks in the border of our outside and tries to seduce us, but the animal soul is in us. And the animal soul, we learned yesterday how its whole essence is drawn after animalistic things. And so it not only does it hide the neshama, but it darkens the neshama itself, because the animal soul's whole essence is about the gashmi, is about the physicality. So that is what darkens our neshama. But yet the souls of this world say to the souls in Gan Eden, the souls of Jerusalem, which are called daughters of Jerusalem, the daughters of Jerusalem, the souls which are not in this world. We say to the souls which are in the higher world, we say we are beautiful. Despite our darkness, we are beautiful. That we are able to reach a higher level than those souls which are still in heaven. We have a higher and deeper kind of beauty. What's pshat? How do we have a higher beauty if we're in a animal soul that wakes up in the morning? It's Meida Ani. Everyone has different Meida Ani. You know, the Meida Ani of the animal soul is I need to make more money. The Meida Ani of a chassid is I need to make a dir tachtein, and make a home for Hashem in the world. So if you're in this animal soul, which is about just ayin. Hashem, it's good. It says Shulchan Aruch. I don't know why people do or don't do it, but Shulchan Aruch says it. It seems you should say. The Rebbe actually once said this. This I do know. The Rebbe said that throughout the day you have a question and you have a suffix what to do. You can strengthen your connection to Hashem by saying Meida Ani, get clarity. Okay, let's go further. How do we make our neshama so beautiful if it's getting darker by the animal soul? Bearding in Niksiv. See it? Bearding Niksiv main ganim be'mayim chayim. It says about the neshama, a garden spring, a well of fresh living waters. Pirush mayin kayal neshama. The spring refers to the soul. Just like a spring is a source of flowing water, so too the neshama, it is the primary source of life that animates a human being. Just like a wellspring is a source of where all the water comes from. What's your mayan? What's your life force? Your life force is in the neshama. And the neshama nikras mayin ganim liyes mokum dasa began the le'ila beganin ne'elyin ne'otach. And what kind of wellspring is it? It's called a garden spring. Why is it called a garden spring? Because where is the neshama? Where is it stationed? It's stationed in the gardens, in the higher or lower level of Gan Eden. That's the place of the neshama's station. That's where it is. It's in Gan Eden, and that's where you what makes you tick is this neshama which is in Gan Eden. The whole neshama of neshama, if you erech ma'alasa muhusa atzmi, if even kazehu ma'atzav ma'akmidas, every single neshama, based upon what level it's on, that is the kind of based upon who the neshama is, that's where the neshama is in Gan Eden. Just like the Gemara says about the physicality of the body, next page, that Hashem made every single person's features to be similar to the features of Adam. There is a form of man with which man becomes a man. And yet people are not the same. Although everyone looks like Adam, everyone has different faces, everyone has different opinion, have different perspective. So on the one hand, we're all like Adam. On the other hand, we're not. Despite the fact that everyone looks different, they're all part of the same species of man, and they're all associated with being medaber, being speakers. The word the Onkelos translates nefesh adam, a soul of man, as ruach hamallah, a spirit that can speak. What distinguishes man over beast is man's ability to speak. That's so it says that as associated with our power of intelligence, the power of chachma. That's why our power of speech specifically is what highlights us as man. But that's a bit of a different subject. The point we're saying over here is that despite the fact that everyone has their own persona, we're all part of the same human race. Doesn't matter if you are an extraordinarily wise person who is revealing great wisdom with your words, or you're an idiot. You don't speak with intelligence. You're still part of that same human race that is able to speak. You're still part of that category of the human that can talk. So just like everyone speaks about different things, so yeah, we're all part of the same race, so too is this in regards to our souls. The imi is although all souls are called souls, in calls that it called neshama in makam tav makam dasa fi muhusa. Yet every neshama, its stature in Gan Eden, where it stands in Gan Eden, depends on who that neshama is. Every neshama is different, and that affects where it stands in Gan Eden. And that's why every neshama is called a garden spring, because every neshama has a place, has something has a place in Gan Eden. So our vitality in our body comes from neshama. What's in neshama? Neshama is called a spring, just like the spring is a source of water. Why is it called a garden spring? Because the neshama is from the garden of Gan Eden. And by the neshama descending and becoming vested within the body and the animal soul, and the neshama brings refinement and purification to the body and animal soul through its aveda. This is in this way the neshama becomes a well of fresh water. That means the neshama actually becomes greater by coming to this world than its source in Gan Eden. How so? So that gives a marshal from the way well springs work in this world. We'll see from the physical example of the way well springs work here to give us some insight to how the neshama's descent to this world enhances it. On top of 157. How do you call them? Just like physically. The water of all the springs comes from the depth of the earth through the seas. And although the seawater is salty and you cannot drink it, it's only when the water travels through the channels of the earth and they break through, the water breaks through the earth and comes out. It's by the water traveling through the channels in the earth and spurting forth from the ground. It's traveling through the channels in the earth. Not only takes away its saltiness, further, the traveling in the earth causes the water to become a living water that animates the soul, that refreshes the soul. As the pasuk says, cold waters to a weary soul. So what makes the water better is traveling through the earth. This concept, by the way, this physical phenomena is brought in the Maimon Alter Rebbe, and the Tzemach Tzedek quotes this to address a certain scenario they had in Lubavitch. They asked Tzemach Tzedek about the kashrus of mikveh and Lubavitch and the way that the water travels on the earth, and Tzemach Tzedek said that the definition of Mayim Chayim, what does living water mean? It travels to the earth. The minerals going through the earth, that makes the water better. So he said this. It's unusual that for a mimer to be a source of a halachic ruling. Anyways, the although it says that bread it satiates the soul of a man, that the main thing is food. Food seems to be the source of life, of our energy. Top of 158. As it says in the pasuk, we were sated with bread and then we were well. So although bread seems to be the primary source of our sustenance, but drinking also gives a sense of satiation. As it says in the pasuk, that you will eat and you'll be satisfied. It says you will eat refers to eating. You'll be satisfied refers to drinking. That only after you drink, after you eat, can you be satisfied. It says also in the Gemara and the Shulchan Aruch, it says that anyone who eats, does not drink, their food is like blood. I heard that the blood gets thicker or something through food, and you drink it makes it thinner. But either way, you don't get satisfied until you drink. This makes me thirsty. In Levad says, Yitzchak is thinking that is not the way you practically apply a mimer. It goes further than that. Oh, take. In Levad says, so in addition to the fact that drinking also satiates you, besides that, there's an advantage in drinking over eating. And that is that drinking water revives the soul. Like when someone faints, When you faint, all the faculties of your neshama become withdrawn, and only a tiny bit of life is still present. You have even less when you faint than when you sleep. When you sleep also, it uses the same expression. When a person sleeps, it says it's a 60th of death. But you still are more animated than when you faint. When you sleep, yes, it's true that you don't have your faculties in the same way that you are awake, but the way your faculties aren't present is different to when you faint. When you faint, all your faculties suddenly withdraw. But when you sleep, when you sleep, there is you're resting from working throughout the day. So it's not that there's a sudden breaking of the life force, sudden change of you worked, now you're resting. There is your soul energies are retreating into the soul to be revived. Next page. Let's take, for example, your power of intelligence. When you sleep, your power of intelligence is not is still present in your brain. It's still present in your brain, just it's not working. It's not active like when you're awake. So to all soul powers, when you're asleep, retreating into the soul, going back to the soul to be energized. They're not active, they're going back into the soul. But it's not that they are withdrawn, like that you would say that all the soul energies are withdrawn. However, when you faint, your faculties recede. So you could say that all the soul energy has withdrawn from the person, it's left the person. That's why when you sleep, you dream. And when you wake up after you sleep, you remember what you saw when you dreamt. When you faint, you don't dream at all. And when the person's revived, doesn't remember at all what he thought when he fainted. Why is that? How come you dream when you sleep and you don't dream when you faint? The reason for this is because when you dream, your soul energy is not revealed, but it's still present. But when you faint, your soul energy is withdrawn. How do you revive the soul? How do you bring back the soul energies once they have become withdrawn? By fainting. When you faint and your soul energy withdraws, how do you revive yourself? You revive yourself through living waters. The living waters are what revive you from fainting. So we learned in this parak, what do we discover over here? First of all, we learned about the main energy of a human being. The main energy of a human being is from a neshama. Second of all, we learned that when the neshama is called a garden spring. Why is it called a garden spring? Because the neshama is in Gan Eden. And just like every person looks different, every soul has its own place in Gan Eden. And despite its greatness in Gan Eden, in order to become living waters, it has to go into this world. Now, what's the benefit of living waters? So we learned about fainting. When a person faints, they have to have living waters to revive. Not only does bread satisfy you, bread is something that revives you. Bread is something that animates you. Bread is something that, I'm sorry, not bread. Water is not just that does it satisfy you. Water also revives you when you have fainted. Water does something more than just food. Water revives. When someone's fainting, they say, give him a glass of water. They don't say, give him a piece of bread. Give him a glass of water to revive him. Water revives you. So what's the meaning of being revived as opposed to sleeping and waking up? So what we said is that when you sleep, your soul energies are present in your mind. It's just they're not active. When you faint, your soul energies are withdrawn. They're not there anymore. You need to bring them back into different parts of your body. So it sounds like we have. I'm all ears for our doctor to give us some insight about this this phenomenon. I've never heard of this before. Distinction between fainting and sleeping. But when you sleep, it seems that your brain is still in your mind. Your mind is still in your brain, but it's just not active, and therefore there are some things that come up, some things you're still thinking about. When you faint, the soul energy has departed from your brain. It's not there. It's not there in your brain at all. Therefore, you don't think at all. You don't dream at all. It's departed. It's gone away. It's not just that it's not active, and it's going into itself. It's completely not there anymore. And how do you revive yourself after being in a state of fainting? You need to have the living waters. Now I'm going to see what those living waters are. Anyone have any insight in this? Fainting, dreaming?
You gotta mute me. Okay. Yeah. When you faint, your blood pressure goes down considerably. I mean, 50, 60 millimeters of mercury. You vasodilate suddenly, your blood pressure collapses. Like sometimes when you stand up very quickly, you get that feeling of being dizzy. So
Yeah.
Your brain is not functioning at that level of blood pressure. Whereas you're sleeping, your blood pressure is pretty normal. It's a simple explanation. Okay.
Blood pressure is what changes to your blood pressure exactly? What happens?
You get a tremendous vasodilation, expansion of all the blood vessels. Okay, they lose their normal tone. When the blood vessel has its normal tone, it constricts, and the available amount of fluid blood in your body is kept at a certain pressure. When the blood vessels dilate, all of a sudden the capacity of the blood system is enormous, and the blood pressure falls down, and your brain won't function on 50, 60 millimeters of mercury.
Okay. So therefore you cannot think, you cannot dream.
No, your brain is gone.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, you're at survival level of perfusion.
Yeah, thank you for clarifying that, Dr. Ressman. Very good. Okay, so let's now go to the living waters in Paragimel. And that's the meaning of the pasuk: a garden spring, a well of fresh water. The soul comes from a wellspring. It comes from a garden spring. It comes from these higher gardens in the lower or higher level of Gan Eden. And just like the water of the ocean, by it traveling through the channels in the earth, it becomes living waters. By the neshama descending into a body, into an animal soul. And it pierces through the dust of the earth. Just like the water pierces through the dust of the earth, so too your body was made from the dust of the earth. And when your neshama is able to pierce through the body, which is also like the dust of the earth, what happens when neshama goes through and shines and pierces through the body? You could see some neshama beneath the surface of the body, pierces through, then the neshama becomes living waters. The neshama reaches a higher level. There's more soul there when it pierces through. You want to say something? It says Hashem made a human being earth out of the earth. The difference between the way Hashem made a human being to the way Hashem made all other creatures is as follows. Next page. God made all other creatures so that their body and soul were made at the same time, and their body and soul have a relationship to each other. For example, when Hashem made inanimate things, the body of the inanimate and the soul of the inanimate are the same level. The body and the soul are called in the realm of the inanimate. It's the soul that animates water is called nefesh ademim. It's a inanimate soul. However, by human being, it's different. The human being, Hashem gave us a soul medaber, gave us the highest kind of soul. And where do you put the soul? He put the soul into a body, which the body, when Hashem made it, was inanimate. First, Hashem made the body. The body at first was inanimate. And then Hashem put into the soul, into the body rather, the highest kind of soul. The body is made up of all four elements, but predominantly the body is made of earth. I'm sorry. We're talking now about first the inanimate things. Inanimate things are made of all four elements of fire, water, wind, and earth. But inanimate things predominantly are from the earth. And the soul in inanimate things it's an inanimate soul. So too with vegetation and animals, their soul and body are the same level. Hashem made animals with a soul in the animal. Hashem made trees with a soul in the trees. So the soul and the body of each creature is in sync with each other. However, by human being, the body of the human being and the soul of the human being are distant in the poles apart. Looking at a human being from the perspective of from the angle of his body, the human being is the lowest. All other beings were created with their soul. All other beings were created with their form, which means that they were created with already a soul animating. Next page. But a human being wasn't. A human being was created to be inanimate. It was created lower than everything else, without any soul. But looking at the human being from the perspective of his soul, he's higher than the angels.
Is this the end of it? All right. All right.
I think you got
Yeah. I guess that's the end. Whatever. Okay. Oh, wait another minute. I'm just tired as can be today. It's going to be a slow day for me. think that's it. Have a good day.